Morning, everyone. Well, I'm back. Just want to talk about being led by spirit. Where does that come from? Well, my entire life, I have had experiences, and I just need to share. I want all of you that are watching, listening, to know that there is a whole nother world that exists that most of you just ignore, or you watch shows like Ghost Adventures and A Haunting and just all kinds of shows trying to, I don't know, are you trying to find out if there's really something out there? Are you just trying to scare yourselves, to believe that there's scary things out there? What's the deal? Like, I watch them, but I know what's out there. I'll start from when I was a little girl. And I probably should be reading this because I've already written this story down, and it'll make a lot more sense when I do that. But I want you to know that I've been seeing spirits, angels, ghosts. I don't know. Are they aliens? I don't know. They are here with us. They are helpful, loving. They are all around when you need them. When you are looking for something, you can find it. That's part of, you are in control of your reality. You are the one who creates what you're looking for. So if you're looking for evil spirits, oh, sure, that's what you're going to find. If you're looking for love, if you're looking for loving spirits, if you're looking for proof, it's what you're going to find. It's just, the universe is going to give you what you desire and what you focus on. So I'm just letting you know, I've had experience, like I said, since I was a little girl. I've seen spirits. I had my 3 invisible friends, who I later discovered that 2 are my spirit guides, and 1 was a spirit who just was around me. And I guess that's the best place to start, because there's lots of kids, lots of adults who had invisible friends or who spoke to spirits that were there and nobody else could see. I think I've already explained this in another video, which I can link to this one. It explains it maybe a little bit. I had that happening probably when I was, I don't know, old enough to talk. In probably maybe first grade, second grade, I'm not sure, when I first saw them, because I just think they were always there. I think they were always around to help me and to be there. Now, one of them might have showed up when I was probably, I'm going to guess, second grade, first grade, something like that. And that would be the spirit that was around me. And they were there for a while. It was like seeing real people. I had one that I called Oogie Bon. Now, It's a strange name. As a young child, I believe that what he told me his name was, I could not pronounce it properly. And so that's what I got out of his name. It was, in appearance, he had a white robe on, long white robe with a hood, long sleeves, full long sleeves. He had a long white beard. His hood was always up, so I couldn't really see his hair or lack of hair. Long white beard and mustache, long. He was Asian in appearance, and as he just usually had his arms folded in front of him, and was more of the kind of watched, was more of the over, I'm trying to think how to explain it. The feeling I got was he was there to protect, he was there to oversee, he was there to observe. He was loving, he was kind. I don't know what else I can say. The next spirit guide, I believe he was one of my spirit guides. And then the next one was Rekaboom. And I think, again, couldn't pronounce his name properly when he said it to me. And then I assumed, because he was very physical, was a really tall man, big man, all dressed in animal skins. He had long hair, long beard. He was like, how do I want to say it? Very much fur boots. He had the look, which I know now, and I found out later, that he was a Viking. He was someone that I loved, and he was fun. That's one of the things I can say. He was very active. He carried a big axe. And my impression of him was that he would run around and knock things over. He would knock into things. And so when something would get broken or something would move, it was Rekaboom that did it. And versus Oogie would just be off to the side, just shaking his head. Just watching, just being there for counseling, that kind of thing. Actually, Rekaboom was probably more of the protector feeling to him. And then my third invisible friend was Abner. And obviously his name was Abner, but I called him Abner because when I first saw him, and later when I would see him, he often was hiding down, like next to a dresser or in a corner. He would be kind of like hunched down, squatted. He hid when other people came into the room. Didn't talk much, but as time went on, he got more adventurous, and he and Rekaboom would, joke around. But he always, to me, he appeared to have a pants that ended right below the knee. He had on white stockings. He had on shoes with a little bit of a heel, but a big buckle on the front. And he had on kind of a white blousey sleeve, I guess I would say. But then he had either a vest or an apron I don't know if it was an apron or what it was that he had on in front. And so it was over the shirt and came down a little bit over the pants. I think his sleeves were rolled up, and he didn't look clean. He didn't look like he was pristine or anything like that. He looked like he was really working. He looked like he was working. And he had his hair pulled back in a ponytail. He had brown hair. His hair was pulled back in a little, I don't know if it was some kind of tie or something like that, at the base back here. And his ponytail was probably that long, something like that. He was a gentle soul, and I just got the feeling that he didn't like violence. He didn't like war. He just didn't want to be, I don't know, he didn't want to be killed, and he didn't want to kill anyone. But my feeling is that he hid, and I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but it feels like however he passed, he was in fear for his life when that happened. So that's kind of sad, and I don't think I realized that till just now as I'm talking to you. But later, and I will also link the trance channeling session that occurred when I discovered who Rehoboam was for the first time in my life, which was pretty dramatic, and I don't want to share it here, but it's in the other video. There's also a time in my life when I realized what their names might be. I know that in Denmark or Sweden, those kind of countries have very, or Norway, they have very noises, very harsh consonants, if that makes sense. So I feel like boom, kind of, there must have been something there that I gathered from his, the way he spoke, the way his name was pronounced. The other thing is Oji-san, which Ogiban, I feel like it was something like Oji-san, which would be, I believe, a sign of respect. And I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on that situation, what his name was, but that's what I believe it was. They were with me for a while, and then I was being told, not by my mother, not by my family, well, might have been my family, but it might have been my aunt, who's now in spirit. Somebody said to me that I needed to stop telling people that I was seeing and talking to spirits, that they were around all the time, that I needed to stop saying it because people would think I was crazy. It could have been my grandmother, because, and as I'm saying this, it feels right, because my great-grandmother, at some point in her life, after she had, I believe, either 6 children, something like that. She had 2 sets of twins, one set with 2 boys and one set with a boy and a girl, and the girl was my grandmother, and she's the one who outlived all of them. And someone said her, okay, so my great-grandmother, back to that, was actually committed to a state facility at some point in her life. So I don't know. I wonder, was it just, going through menopause and being hot and cold and feeling like she was burning up? And Could they not deal with her emotions? Could they not deal? They weren't treating anything at that point. Did they think that she was going crazy? Was it unbearable for her? I don't know. Or was it that she was seeing spirits, that all of a sudden, maybe in her life, things were happening where she was seeing or hearing or feeling spirits, and that was too much. And so she was also, that she was put away. It's just really sad when I think about it. I doubt that she had any clinical problems. She might have been depressed, but I don't know. I'll never know. And, well, until I'm dead, and then I can ask her. I've not tried to communicate with her. I probably should. I'm psychic, medium, trance channel. I've given readings. I've taken classes, oh my gosh, for 20 years. I've been doing things, seeing spirits since I was very young, like I think 1.5 was the first time I saw an angel, and I believe that was in the church. And again, I will share that story at another time. But I just wanted you to know, invisible friends are not a bad thing always. And people are so afraid of noises. They're afraid of hearing footsteps. Really? Are the footsteps going to hurt you? No. People hear their names being called. Is that going to hurt you? No. I know at one point in my life, my stepfather died. And I was extremely sad, even though we knew that he was going to pass. He had cancer, and it was progressively getting worse over a couple years. And even though I should have been prepared for him to die, and when he was alive, I mean, we were close, but we weren't like extremely close. So it's like, it affected me so severely. It was kind of shocking. I cried a lot. I would be upset. And then there was about 3 days in a row where I kept having, as I was falling asleep, I would see these, the best way to describe it would be like a see-through television. I was kind of seeing this image or this vision of things happening, and it would be kind of off to the side, and it would be, as I was falling asleep, I'd see this. And then at night and during this time period, I was getting woken up a lot at night. I was feeling spirits sitting on the edge of the bed. I was feeling that they were in the room with us. I was getting a lot of this. And it may have been just before he passed to just after he passed. I'm not 100% sure on the time period, but I know it was definitely continued after he passed. And I would be so alerted by it that I actually thought someone was in the room with us. Now, I'm not afraid of spirits, but I will say that I am not good with jump scares. Like when something is sudden and, it startles, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a human coming up behind me and making a noise all of a sudden or touching me, it's going to cause me to go, it's going to scare me. It's going to make me jump. So sudden things are like that for me. But spirits in general, not afraid. I'm just not afraid. And they're just people. They just don't have a body. They just are out of their body and traveling. So needless to say, back to the story, my stepdad, I kept waking up and feeling like somebody was sitting on the bed or whatever. And this went on for probably over a month or so. And of course, my husband's trying to sleep and making noise. Rick, there's somebody in the room. You know, it was like I was waking him up, and which is not good, you know. And in particular, this period where there were 3 days that were really severe. And the final day when this occurred, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I felt this, the best way to describe it is tap, 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 right? Tap, tap, tap on the shoulder, physically being touched. And not softly, it was pretty hard. And I woke up with a start, like woke up scared because somebody physically touched me. Was it someone that was real in the house? Was it somebody I knew? What was it? You know, was it a spirit? And as I woke up and screamed, and told Rick, there's somebody in the room, turn the light on, my eyes focused, and what I saw was my stepdad, Charlie. And I saw him from like the waist up, and where he was standing, I have a secretary desk that folds down, and he was standing where, you know, a person could not be standing because, you know, half their body would be missing. So, and I saw him in his blue plaid flannel shirt that he wore quite a bit. I think he wore it a lot when he was working in the yard or something like that. And I saw him physically saw him, like, not like I do when I'm doing readings, but I saw him like manifest. And with my eyes open, not with any special trying to or anything. And it was that moment. And then the lights went on and he just disappeared. And the only thing I can say is that at that point, I yelled. I was like, you know, his name was Charlie. And I was like, Charlie, and everybody, you cannot do this to me. You need to find a different way to communicate. Communicate with me during the day, whatever it is you have to do. Stop waking me up at night when I'm sleeping. It doesn't work. Don't touch me. Don't do that. You've got to find a different way that is not going to be scary, that is not going to wake Rick up while he's trying to sleep, not going to wake me up. You know, stop. Like, that's it. I'm done. Well, guess what? That was it. It was done. Didn't get woken up anymore at night after a long time of it happening, because I am in charge. You are in charge. If something's going on, you're the one that ultimately is in charge of what you believe, of what you control, of what's happening to you. Just, you know, don't let other people tell you they're in charge. They're not. This is your life. This is your soul. This is your being creating what you want. Don't focus on negative things unless that's what you like. There are those people that like it. You know, I can honestly tell you that in all the time, in all the years that I have seen spirits, that I have felt spirits, that it's only a couple times I've seen anything really maybe scary or maybe dark. And guess what? I wasn't scared. It was more like, what are you doing there? Right? Think about maybe someone who committed suicide, someone who was a murderer, someone who did things and they are scared. They're basically afraid to go into the light. They are terrified of being judged. And they believe they're going to go to hell. So guess what? They don't want to go to hell. They don't want to be tortured because that's what they think is going to happen. So if they think they're going to be tortured, what's their choice? They're going to say, oh no, I'm going to stay right here on earth and that's it. I'm not going into the light. I'm not going to go to hell. I'm staying earthbound. I am staying here. So guess what? That happens. And they hang around because either it's someone who passed when they were sleeping or when they are in a coma, maybe someone that doesn't know that they're dead. That can happen. There can be people who don't know, have never been told what they should do when they pass. They've never shared anything spiritual with them, religious, whatever it is. They don't believe in the afterlife. They believe that's it, that it's dark, and that this is the only life they're going to live, and that when they die, it's going to be just darkness. So guess what? When they die, it's darkness. That's sad. There's those who believe that, there's some malevolent being out there that is going to capture them, right? Well, guess what? Then there's going to be a malevolent being out there that's going to capture them. This is the reality of our world. The reality of world is what you want, what you believe, you create. Whether it's light or shadow, you are the one who creates it. Decide what you want. Decide to live in the light. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Think about it. When you have the light, this bright light, right? When it's shining from this direction, if you're standing here facing that way, there's going to be more shadows in front of you. When you turn around and face the light and you're facing that way, the shadows fall behind you. So are you facing the light? Are you looking for the light? Are you a light in the universe? Are you shining a light? Or are you bent on casting a long shadow? Are you looking for those things that are dark? Are you looking for those shadow things? Are you looking for evil? Are you creating more destruction in the world? Or are you creating peace? Are you scared? Are you fearful? Or are you joyful? And everyone goes through all the emotions. It's like a great spiral. It goes in both directions. So you have almost like an hourglass figure. There's going to be a pinch point in the middle where there's balance, where you're not going up and getting more joyful, more peaceful, right? As you go up the spiral, and the spiral starts out small and it gets bigger, right? Okay. And then at the pinch point, if you focus on, or you have negative things going on, it starts out small and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you get to really fear and just, terrified, loathing, worry, all those things. And it's going to happen. Everyone's going to go up and down. They're going to be at different stages at different times in their life. It's unavoidable. It's living. That's what occurs. Now, if somebody can avoid it, yay for them. I have not been able to avoid everything negative in my life, but I will say that through the years, I've learned how to look for the best. I've learned how to look at every circumstance and realize that there was something for me to learn, that there was something positive that came out of everything that was negative. Anything that happened in my life that was caused me fear, caused me worry, all of those things, eventually it changed. And because of those circumstances, sometimes I might have met somebody who taught me something. I may have met someone who showed me love. Just know that there is unlimited love out there for everyone. And whether you're a spirit and you're watching this on somebody's laptop, on someone's computer screen, on someone's phone, if you're there over the shoulder of somebody, and I don't mean to scare those watching, but just know spirits are everywhere. When you think of somebody, when you think of a loved one that's passed, you're basically, if you say their name or think of them, they can be there. They can come visit you. And, they're not scary. Just give them love. Just send them back on their way with love. And just tell them thank you for being in your life. Even those people who have caused you harm. Just know that there was a reason for it. And that's a really hard thing to do. It really is. And sometimes it can take years before you realize what it was that occurred and how you can learn from it. Most of the time, a lot of people can't figure it out. They can't learn because they're so focused on hate and they're focused on fear, and they can't get out of that spiral that's a downward path. But they need to turn around and start going in a different direction. And easy for me to say, I know, but hard to do. And you got to have help sometimes. You got to have somebody pull you up. You got to have somebody be there to give you a lift. Even if that somebody is in spirit, even if that somebody is creator, is a spirit guide, is guardian angel, is an invisible friend. You just sometimes need another energy. So being by yourself, being alone, it doesn't always help. People, need connections. They need other people. They need that love. And sometimes when you don't get it, it sends you in a negative way. I just really wish that everyone would know that they are loved. And again, if there's a spirit there, don't be fearful. Don't be scared. Just say hello. Tell them they're loved. Sometimes when there's a spirit that is hanging around that maybe is causing trouble or is fearful, it could just be that they can't remember that they're loved. They can't remember. They are so focused on what they're doing. They're so focused on being afraid. They're focused on trying to see people jump. They're so focused on those things and everyone is jumping. Everyone is scared. Everyone is calling them this. Everyone is telling them, oh, you're this, you're that. Well, you know what? Negative people, when they die, if they go to the light, yay, they go to the light. If they decide not to go to the light, those are what I believe are demons. Those are the people who are stuck, who cause problems. I know there's supposedly, heaven and hell. I've also heard that hell is on this earth. And heaven, maybe that's just what's in the light. So just don't be fearful. Try your hardest. Try to come out of it. Try to find something. If you hear yourself saying a negative phrase at the very end, or even thinking a negative phrase, at the end of that phrase, switch it. Like, for an example, the gas prices are ridiculously high right now. But I know that they're going to come back down. That's the ending. Instead of focusing on them being high, switch it. They are going to come back down. Say, I know there's tension right now in parts of the country, but I also know that there will be peace and that tension will die down. And a lot of these things I know because of my trance channeling. And that station is Georgiana Speaks. It's like George and Anna all put together, Speaks. And there's times they've come through and explained things to me and to everyone. And I've shared it there. And I will try and link some videos that maybe have to do with that in here as well. But just know that it's why things boil over. And then the boiling over causes the spilling of the water or whatever. If you think of a pot boiling over, I think this is one of the things they explained, is that a pot boils over, gets hot, boils over, and then the water goes down, puts out the flame, and cools everything back down. So sometimes there is a boiling over that occurs, but that boiling over will then put out the flame, will calm everything back down. So we go through cycles. It is what this earth does. It is what we as humans do. We go through birth. We go through living. We go through death. We come back. We're born again. We go through life. We go through all kinds of things. And it just keeps going. It's an ongoing cycle. This earth has cycles. So everything, all the plants, you see it. They go through time periods of being dormant, and then they'll bloom, they'll bud, and then they'll bloom, and then they might turn colors and fall off, those leaves. Plants put out seeds, and then they'll put out a fruit, and the fruit feeds animals or people, and then in insects. All of those things is part of a cycle, and then those seeds get spread, and then new plants come up. It's part of the cycle that occurs on this earth. I'm going to end this video here because it's starting to get long, and I just want you guys to know that please just, understand that the universe is going to give you what you want. If you want to focus on the blooming, if you want to focus on those lovely flowers and all that's pretty, and not focus on anything negative, not focus on the fact that the plant has to go through, trimming, or that there's going to be a period where it's not in bloom. If you don't want to focus on that, then don't focus on it. If you want to focus on the whole cycle, which is me, I focus on everything. Because I believe in balance. I believe you have to have balance. You have to know that there's every part of that cycle is intrinsically needed. It is part of this world. Spirits are part of this world. They are part of it. They shouldn't be gotten rid of. They have choices. And just as we have choices, we had choices. And I think I might talk again about our choices and being born and what happens maybe when we're not in a body. But that would be another video as well. Okay, everybody, just please know all is well. Take care.